to the pitch for tonight's match. Fresno FC in your Austin Bold FC.
Back in the capital city of the Lone Star State for USL Championship Soccer, Lady Bird Lake, right in the heart of downtown. No shortage of things to do on a Saturday in the summer here in the capital city. The Fresno FC Foxes are in town in the hen house of the Bold tonight, looking to run away with 3 points before they head back out west. Speaking of the West, of course, Phoenix Rising continues to capture 3 points each and every night for the past 10 outings. Everybody else just trying to play catch up. You've got Fresno and Austin each trying to continue to solidify spots as host teams in the upcoming playoffs. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Bold Stadium as the second and final meeting of the regular season between Fresno and Austin tonight. Lincoln Rose along with Kit McConico. And Kit, this is what we call a good old-fashioned six-pointer.
You're exactly right. So much at stake tonight for both these teams. Austin needs to get back to their winning ways. And for Fresno, they've won 5 in a row. Can they make it 6 and extend their lead?
Take a look at this matchup. Players who stand out, of course, is Basulovic, whose second goal for Fresno FC that made it 2-0 the other night proved to be the game winner to capture those 3 points at home.
Rune Basulovic, fantastic stuff. He won the USL Championship fans goal of the week in week 20. That stunning strike against T2. He's the guy to keep an eye on for the visitors.
And for Austin in its inaugural campaign, nobody has been more prolific in finding the back of the net than Andre Lima, now 8 times this campaign.
The big Brazilian, the June USL Championship Player of the Month, leads Austin with 8 goals scored. He is the guy that the Foxes are really going to key to shut down.
When we come back, we'll get you your starting 11 for both clubs. 3 points on the line for 2 of the top 4 teams in the West as they collide tonight.
Meet your Austin Bold starting 11.
Now they're going up.
Huh? Are they?
Do they have seats in the shade?
Do they? I texted Christy where our seats are. No, they're going back in the tunnel.
Number 27, Valeri Salabutin.
You're good.
Number 15, Bumblebee Okugo. Number 99, Andre Lima. Number 4, Jermaine Taylor. Number 8, Javi Baez. The goalkeeper, number 24, Diego Restrepo. Number 11, Promise Isaac. Number 19,
Los Zorros of Fresno FC make their lone trek in the regular season here to Austin as they are riding the wave of a 7-match unbeaten streak, winners of their last 5, as they collide tonight with the home side Bold, who have defended this home turf of theirs quite nicely. Let's take a look at your starting 11. First up, the men for Adam Smith. A couple of tweaks from that victory against T2 the other night, including a constant starter after the day off. It is Zachary Ellis Hayden helping anchor the back foursome.
And CJ Cochran, the goalkeeper, he alongside the man in the middle, Ramon Martin del Campo, the only 2 players for the Zorros that have started every game this season.
Across the way for Marcelo Serrano for the Bold, who have been unbeaten in their last 4 matches here at home, have only lost once all season at Bold Stadium. You take a look at the 5, and it's going to include a couple of locals in both Guadarrama and Tierpak up top.
Chris Tierpak, his first start in the last 6 games. Ima Chumasi on the back line, the man on loan from FC Dallas, gets his first start ever for Austin.
Moments away from opening kick, chance to introduce you for the first time tonight to Austin Ivan down on the pitch. Austin?
Thank you, Lincoln. After Austin Bold's loss last weekend where they gave up 6 goals and couldn't find the net themselves, they worked all this week on making sure they wouldn't have the same outcome. Allowing 6 goals is the most they've given up all season long, but head coach Marcelo Serrano wasn't worried about making changes in the X's and O's to his defense, but rather just emphasizing communication. He said the biggest breakdown in the game came last week when the Bold was trying to attack offensively and Phoenix came with the counterattack. He said that's when the plays open up, and that's where they allowed them to score. So today they're focusing on defense, but they're also focusing on offense because last week they didn't score a single goal. They said today with the home game, they know their possession time is going to be up, which will give them more opportunities to shoot and get some goals, so they're going to work on that today as well.
Austin, thank you. Of course, the Bold have scored 8 goals over their last 2 home matches, but as she noted, a shutout at Phoenix Rising. The home team won each of those 2 meetings. Phoenix Rising, that was a 1-0 lead for the red-hot #1 team in the West at halftime. And 5 second-half goals, almost all of them off the counter. Diego Restrepo never had a chance as the back line just could not help him out. You take a look at what has worked for these 2 teams. For Fresno, as well as they have played at home, been very successful on the road. 5 matches, all victories now in their last 5 outings. Again, 7 matches unbeaten total, while Austin nearly unblemished at home. Their only loss to New Mexico United earlier this summer.
The only time Austin has lost this year at Bold Stadium back on May the 25th to New Mexico United. Aside from that, they have been outstanding here at Bold Stadium. Talk about the offense for the visitors. Well, it's the defense that's really led the way. Their defensive record, 2nd best in the Western Conference. They've allowed just 19 goals through 19 games.
Fresno in white, Austin in black. These 2 teams met in California earlier this year, with Fresno finding a game winner in the 85th minute to capture all 3 points that night. The Foxes have solidified themselves among the top 3 in the West. There's a decent gap between 3 and 4.
Their head coach, Adam Smith, he said we need to come out hungry, really take it to Austin. We know how good they are at home. They're a different team in front of the home fans. They want to be the attacking side.
Last year was Fresno's maiden voyage here in the USL Championship. They've already surpassed their entire win total from 1 year ago. Last year, 9 wins, 13 losses, and 12 draws, finishing 12th in the West. Take a look at our keys to the matchup tonight. How do they continue their winning ways? Already 10 wins this season.
Well, for Fresno, it's just about strike first for them. I mean, it's one of those things. They're unbeaten 9-0-3 when scoring first, keep streaking. 7-match unbeaten streak. You mentioned their last loss came back on June the 1st. And if it ain't broke, well, very simple. Things have been working out for them. Keep the status quo.
Larry Saramutin getting the start tonight once again. Edson Brofide serving a 2-match suspension after his straight red in that loss against Phoenix Rising. How do they bounce back?
Well, Austin has to bounce back, and they need to rebound after their worst loss ever. It's going to be important, especially the first 10 or 15 minutes. They're here at home where they have just 1 loss with those 6 wins, those 3 draws, and important to defend and strike early. They want to be the aggressors. They want to get on the board. Austin, not particularly adept at playing from behind.
You know, Andre Lima is one of about 5 Bold players who are 1 yellow away from having to sit out a match as well. Luckily for head coach Marcelo Serrano, it is a pretty deep bench he's working with this year, including the 2 players on loan from FC Dallas. You see Chumasi getting to start tonight.
Yeah, Ima Chumasi alongside Francis Atuahene. The young men, both originally from Ghana, came over, played collegiately here in the States for Wake Forest and the University of Michigan. Both have come down from FC Dallas, wanted to get more playing time. They've been a big factor for Austin.
Adam Smith, the back-to-back champion in the old USL Pro, back in his days as a player with Long Island Rough Riders and Wilmington Hammerheads. These days on the bench, helping guide Fresno through a very successful second year.
The Englishman grew up in that Everton FCU system.
And no set piece here for Austin. Instead, Fresno will send it back to midfield.
Lincoln, as you might imagine, there's been a spring in the step of the Austin players this week at practice after that 6-0 loss on the road at Phoenix Rising. Austin knows they have to get back to their winning ways. They need to get back in the driver's seat. In a match like this, well past the midway point of the season, incredibly important for Austin to stay in playoff contention.
Vasilovic just tested that back line of the Bold, but no mistake there with the veterans lining the box in front of Diego Restrepo.
Vasilovic, his strike last week, absolutely beautiful.
This one to Cooper. He's got space on the edge of the 18. Sends in the cross. It'll be sent wide, and they'd love to have it over again. Instead, simply a goal kick coming up for Diego Restrepo.
Great opportunity early on for the visitors. Austin has to be very careful. Of the 34 goals Fresno has scored this season, only 4 have come from outside the 18-yard box. They do their damage in tight.
Cudis almost had his second goal of the year against Austin. He came through with that game winner in the 85th minute back in Fresno against the Bold.
That was the lone goal of that match. The Nigerian was able to find it late on. He leads this side in goals scored.
Cudis Lawal with those 7 goals, a pair of assists this year, and a little under 900 minutes of work. Bold looking to strike first. Tierpak sent one into traffic as the Foxes had the answer, but a corner kick coming up.
Good link play, nice combination from one native Austinite to another. Sonny Guadarrama playing Chris Tierpak through into space. Tierpak just unable to find a teammate, but Austin does win the set piece.
Sonny Guadarrama played his high school ball at Cedar Park High School just north of here. Goes up top to Soto. Back to Sonny G. And that is Kaffa able to intervene and shut it down, at least for the moment.
Juan Pablo Kaffa, the Argentine, wearing the captain's armband this evening for Fresno.
Settles with Cooper, the man from Birmingham, England.
Los Sotos, they have seen the Austin film. They know Austin is vulnerable in the counterattack. Austin likes to commit numbers forward, get numbers up the pitch. But Austin, an older team and not always as quick getting back defensively as they should be. Younger teams with speed are been able to exploit that.
Yeah, some of the toughest moments for Austin this year has actually been when they've established a multiple goal lead. They've slowly seen them slip away, including their last outing here at home when Orange County tied it up 2-2 after going down 2-0 before Chris Tierpak came on and found a game winner in the 90th minute to capture all 3 points. Jermaine Taylor makes life a lot easier for any goalkeeper.
Oh, Taylor, he is the stalwart of that back line. Over 100 games for the Jamaican national team. The veteran, longtime Houston Dynamo player.
Jackson sends one in. There's the aforementioned Taylor living up to his standard.
Taylor, just incredible CV, great pedigree as a player. Reads the game so well, always in the right place.
Included most recently 6 years in Major League Soccer. Jackson has it poked away as Javi Baez able to shut down that opportunity.
Yeah, Baez, another real workhorse for this Austin team, the former Chivas Guadalajara man. One of those guys who always is just around the ball in the right place at the right time.
So again, 5th appearance for Emma Chuamasi. First, though, as a start. Made his debut in this league when he was on loan with Oklahoma City last year for a handful of matches. Over the top battle. And ultimately Restrepo will have it coming his way as Jermaine Taylor helps poke it away.
Very nicely done from Taylor. He got there. He was able to help Chumasi battling there with Vasilovic, and Taylor comes in to clean it up.
Already 7 minutes into this one, at this point against Portland, Fresno already had a lead off of a well-played corner kick with a header coming from Del Campo last weekend.
Yeah, this team 34 goals through their first 19 games, and that is a much quicker pace of goal scoring than it was a year ago. At this point last season, they'd only found the back of the net 24 times.
Fresno last weekend just vulnerable in the opening minutes coming out of the locker room for the start of the second half. We concede the only goal of the night for T2. As you get a look there at the captain, Mickey Daly. It's Kaffa wearing the captain's armband tonight, however.
And Daly out of Sonoma, California. A lot of talent up there in the San Joaquin Valley and surrounding areas.
Cooper has really given this group some nice depth on that back line. You really have 5 starting caliber defenders that can rotate back there to stay fresh throughout the season. Trying to work up the spine. Quick touch and turn from Chavez, but nothing more.
Austin backline doing its job, but Austin, see if they can find something in transition.
Isaac, promise Isaac. Inside the 18. This strike from 19, but Lima will not be able to get it all the way to the ultimate destination with bodies creating congestion.
Andre Lima taking the shot from outside the box. It actually found the feet of Chris Tierpak, wasn't anticipating it, and he couldn't redirect it on frame.
Tuamasi back post. Too tall for any teammate. Ellis Hayden, the nearest man on that back row for Fresno.
Better from Austin, an extended bit of possession there.
Greg Dopka, our referee, indicating the foul a moment ago. This the look for Isaac.
Very nicely done. Isaac laying the ball off, and you saw it right there. The shot from Lima right at Tierpak. Unable to force Cochran into a save.
Remember, it's an Austin team after giving up 6 goals in Phoenix the other night. Now they're a goal differential of -3, and yet they're the number 4 team in the West. And it's because they've been otherwise stingy. Defensively, they have 1 close matchup, 6 clean sheets for Diego Restrepo. And of course, tonight's opposing goalkeeper, CJ Cochran, with 6 clean sheets of his own. As Mr. Dopka working with Diego Blas and Mark Novosel tonight, our 3-man crew.
And in the Western Conference standings, the separation at the top, Phoenix Rising, Reno, obviously this Fresno side in the top 3. And then very tight, 4 through 10. When you get to that bottom playoff spot, Austin knows that they cannot afford to lose any points if they want to get into the playoffs.
Oh, that's probably cool for the people on the airplane.
11th minute underway in this opening half. And of course, Fresno being greeted by that setting sun here in the Hill Country.
Soto, a man on loan from Querétaro in Mexico, would have been better served just to send that ball up the touchline. Instead, gives the throw to Fresno.
Josue Soto, who missed the first quarter of the season with a knee injury, has been a fixture in the lineup ever since. One of the wings that'll push from inline to inline.
Some notable absences tonight for Austin, including Edson Brawfight. He picked up the yellow in the 75th minute of that loss. He is out 2 matches, that is what the league said. And alongside Sion McFarland, yeah, that straight red late in that match send him to the bench, and the league also giving him an additional 2 games of suspension.
A foul called a moment ago as your league goalkeeper of the year 2 years ago in his time in San Antonio will handle this one.
Austin, fantastic goalkeepers, both the starter Restrepo and his backup, Juan David Ramirez, the young man on loan from Atlético Nacional of Colombia. And Restrepo, a match where you give up 6 goals, and obviously not all of those on him, but as a goalkeeper, that is a tough pill to swallow, losing 6-0.
5'7" bully on the playground, Sonny Guadarrama. CJ Cochran, as you noted, Kit, has not missed a minute this year. The Iron Man in goal for Fresno. We mentioned 6 clean sheets already this year. Opportunity here for the Foxes. Sarah Mooten again trying to link up with Promise Isaac. He's got options, back post, but again off the mark for the typical super sub. Tonight starter Chris Tierpak.
Just too tall. Tierpak, not traditionally a guy that you see. He's good with his head, but he's not like Lima. He's not that target forward. He likes the ball played to his feet with a bit of space for him to operate.
Ellis Hayden back in the starting lineup tonight. The Canadian, previously with Orlando City B. Again, Fresno joining the league last year as an expansion side. Bold, send one in, but the answer from Los Sotos back line. 7 former PDL players from Fresno Fuego FC and Fresno FC U23s now reunited here on this USL Championship side, including the most recent addition in Sully Samura, signed this week and available tonight.
I mentioned all that local talent, a lot of it mixed with a lot of international flair, and that's been the key. Young, hungry players for Los Sotos.
Samura was with them last year, trialed with the USL Championship side some. This year's been spending more time with the Laredo Heat of the NPSL. I'm not going to pretend whether I know Fresno or Laredo is closer to Austin. My guess is barely Laredo.
Good job, guys.
Andre Lima, you mentioned that target forward with his size.
Yeah, Lima, great size, well over 6 feet, good with his back to goal, keeps defenders on his back hip. You would imagine he would be the target in this upcoming free kick.
Isaac shut down. Lawal. Kudus advances up the pitch without the ball, hoping for an opportunity to emerge.
Yeah, great work defensively with her from Kudus Lawal. He got back to win it, and then he made the run, but his teammates couldn't find him with the return.
Kudimoto. Looked like Vasilovic wanted it back. Alex Cooper had other ideas as they'll reset from the back line. Back to Del Campo. Still in play. Diego Restrepo ready at any moment to try to come through with a stop.
Nice.
But the shot will never come.
Must say I'm very impressed with the patience of Los Sotos, not forcing anything, taking their time, knocking it around. A team that, even though they got the victory over T2, they said last week, wasn't the cleanest of wins. They're going to be looking for better, looking to build on that win and continue this winning streak.
After tonight, Fresno goes back home to welcome in the lights of Las Vegas. The Bold will look to try to return the favor over in New Mexico. Tomasi with options. Isaac. Sarah Mooten, the New Jersey-born Russian.
Played with the Russian national team, the youth system, before coming back stateside. Los Sotos doing a very good job marking up front, especially on Andre Lima, as they concede the free kick here.
A whistle blown, and Bold will have another set piece from better than 40 yards out.
Isaac certainly more than capable of making things happen. Won a silver medal with the Nigerian national team back in the 08 Olympics.
He had the goal against USA in that matchup.
He's a guy who's flown under the radar a bit this season for Austin, and they would really like to see him step up and be more of a force, particularly on the offensive side.
Sonny Guadarrama last year in San Antonio here in the USL Championship with SAFC. At the time, that was the closest to a homecoming he could have until the Bold came about. Ball sent in, looking for Tierpeck. And Los Oros again with an answer, as CJ Cochran never needed to intervene. And Javi Baez will be called for the takedown. Javi making his 21st start now on the year. 31-year-old out of Mexico.
And Baez, an absolutely incredible resume. Over 250 appearances in Liga MX, first division of Mexican football. Played for Necaxa, Chivas. He won the 2014 CONCACAF Champions League with Cruz Azul.
Yeah, over 200 matches combined between Chivas and Cruz Azul. Vasilovic had a masterpiece of a goal. This time looks on. Diego Restrepo will keep us level for now at zeros on the board. Corner kick coming up for Fresno. Bold not in the clear just yet.
What a job, a huge save from the former University of Virginia Wahoo, the national champion with the Cavaliers. The first real test of the match. He comes up with a big save there and had to.
Again, Lawal found that game winner against Austin back in Fresno earlier this year. That was back on May 22nd in the 85th minute.
You see how little space Lawal needs to be effective.
Here's Kaffa sitting on 4 assists this season. His left boot sends one into the top of the 18. Oh, the right idea, just off by a fraction with the angle on that delivery.
Oh, that would have been something else. At the top of the box, looking for the spectacular. And Austin all packed in close to that 6. No one out on the wall. And you've got to think, if there's one man to mark for Los Oros, it needs to be the guy with the 20 on his back in the wall.
If you are a physics teacher, just clip off that last set piece and spend maybe a few weeks just looking at what occurred there, both on the delivery from the corner and then ultimately the shot from the wall. There's a little bit of spin on that ball. Adam Smith, of course, his GM. Frank Yallop, one of the greats, a 2-time MLS Coach of the Year when he led San Jose to a pair of titles. Fresno this year, 2 wins, only 2 losses all season. Those blemishes against Sacramento and Colorado Springs. Of course, Sacramento would get the better of them as well in the U.S. Open Cup.
Austin played him in a tight match back on May the 22nd up in the San Joaquin Valley, but just Lawal finding that game winner in the 85th minute. The lone goal of the match. Ultimately, Austin just couldn't find the offense on the road.
They're looking for Jackson. The Brazilian most recently was with the NASL side, San Francisco Deltas, who were able to claim that league title in their lone season.
Yeah, I think they said we have an autograph section.
Soto. So Clever available off the bench tonight for Austin. Gladiator, typically a starter with that 9 on his back. First man to ever score a goal for this Bold side.
Right, Clever's been in that starting 11 pretty much every match after the beginning adjustment period of the first month. It's been a tough run the last few weeks and giving him a break, but I anticipate he will come on. We will see him as a substitute in the second half, if not sooner.
Guadarrama.
Nice switch.
Looking for Tierpeck. That's the quickest anything has gotten from Cedar Park to Dripping Springs. As Baez will need a moment. Anytime a pro sports team is announced in Austin, traffic is usually suggested as the team's mascot.
For good reason. Entertaining first 22 minutes Opportunities few and far between from both sides. They've exchanged possession, but neither team has really been able to put their mark on it. Austin, not as many chances as Los Oros.
Well played by Alex Cooper, making his 11th start of the year. Cooper again out of Birmingham, England, has the Scottish Championship on his resume, playing at the top level. And a rare touch for CJ Cochran. He doesn't mind. Georgia native, most recently with Nashville. Makes his 20th start now. There's 19 goals allowed in 19 matches. That's going to keep you in ball games and keep you in the hunt for 3 points every night.
It will indeed. And Cochran, obviously a huge factor in that, but if you asked him, he would give all credit to the men in front of him. That four-man back line tonight. Ellis Hayden, Cooper, Martin Del Campo, and Daly.
With that said, he has required 67 saves coming into tonight. There are positives and negatives to that stat line. Kurimoto.
There's that patience from Fresno I mentioned. Everyone in black and teal back on their defensive side of the pitch. Fox is not forcing anything.
The fresher legs there belong to the Foxes, but a heavy touch gets it back over to Austin.
Fox is doing a good job getting numbers back behind the ball when they lose possession, not giving Austin counterattack opportunities.
There are 3 parties involved in the first half: the Bold, the Foxes, and the setting sun. Back in the shadows. Little give and go. Looking for promise. Kick save from Cochran.
And what a save from CJ Cochran. Flag stayed down. Isaac did the smart thing, what you're taught to do, heads the ball down at the ground. Look at Cochran. Just able to put his left boot to it.
Listed at 6'4". Would have been able to make that stop if he was 3'4".
And you can already see what a huge loss Sion McFarland is, not starting tonight for Austin. Typically the right back, the Jamaican, he presses forward, he starts the offense from that back position, has a great work rate, leads Austin almost a 10K run every match, and you can tell they miss McFarland tonight.
And we are going to get another foul here on the Foxes. SAFC able to jump out ahead of the Real Monarchs early on. San Antonio, by the way, only has 1 match left in Copa Tejas this year, just the way the schedule works out. At the moment, they are tied with Austin points-wise, but Austin still has a couple games still to go. Of course, RGB and El Paso still a factor in that 4-way dance.
Yeah, the inaugural year of Copa Tejas, all the Texas teams in the USL Championship play each other, and the winner, the best record, most points accrued, walks away with that beautiful trophy. Austin hoping that's a piece of hardware that they can take home this year.
One of 2 trophies they are still in the running for.
Yeah, they had a great run in the U.S. Open Cup, got to the 4th round where they were knocked out by fellow Texas side Houston Dynamo of MLS.
Guadarrama keeps it playable, but Cochran will squeeze it in after the tough angle from Sonny. Austin trailed by 1 against Phoenix at the half. It was when Austin was aggressive, trying to find the equalizer, that quickly Phoenix was able to put their speed to work. All of a sudden, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, 5-0. Final score, 6-0 for Phoenix Rising, as they just continue to be in a class of their own. 2/3 into now the USL Championship campaign.
And Austin played a fantastic first 45 minutes of that match. They had chances, they couldn't take advantage. And when they conceded that second goal in the 54th minute, it was Well, you could tell just from the body language of the Austin players it was going to be a long night, and then 4 rattled off quickly by the Rising's potent offense.
Isaac from 19 with the left boot, shut down by Cochran.
Nice take from Isaac, and you want to see Promise Isaac getting involved more, as I mentioned. Has the opportunity, why not? But it's going to take more to beat Cochran.
His best hope was that one taking a deflection off Del Campo. It just doesn't happen. Nice effort by Lawal with the deflection off the heel, but no other men in all white there to play it. Chomasi. And back to one of the handful of Jamaicans, Jermaine Taylor, that are making an impact in the USL Championship this year.
There's definitely a Jamaican presence. The Reggae Boys, one of the top teams in CONCACAF and well represented here in the States in both USL Championship and MLS.
Lincoln Rose, Kip McConico with you, with Austin Ivan down on the pitch. Scoreless thus far as we're wrapping up with the 29th minute here in this opening half. Each team in the West playing twice during the regular season, home and home. Fresno got the better of the first meeting in May.
Austin not getting numbers up the pitch quickly enough. They have the veteran leadership, the experience, speed. One thing you can argue may be lacking on this Austin side.
Andre Lima is not going to win that foot race out on the wing. Has a way of slowing down the opponent.
And so far, Lima's seen the ball less than a handful of times, and that is not a recipe for success for Austin. Your leading scorer, not a factor here over halfway through the first half.
Going to have a hydration break as we approach the half-hour mark. You felt that sun pulling into the parking lot, making your way over to the pitch.
The official has designated a hydration break. This break may last.
Scoreless thus far. Again, these are 2 of the top 4 teams in the West. Fresno unbeaten in their last 6. Able to capture 15 points over the last 5 matches. As you see, the 39-year-old Brazilian Marcelo Serrano, who's both the head coach of the U.S. Virgin Islands squad, as well as, of course, here with the Austin Bold. We remind you of what the West looks like. And there's really 3 tiers. Phoenix Rising, Red Hot, Reno and Fresno right up there with them. And then after that, Austin Bold just trying to get closer if they could get 3 points here, but 4 through 10 so tight.
They are indeed, and that's why tonight's match so critical for Austin. Just 3 points separating 4 through 10 into the Western Conference standing, and Austin at home needs all 3 points.
Phoenix still has 2 matches in hand on Reno. The reason why right now I like to think of them as just in a league of their own at the moment, but obviously Fresno with a win tonight could find themselves right there trailing the top spot. Again, in the midst of the first half hydration break on a hot July evening here in Austin. A lot of seating, though, out here at Bolt Stadium in the shade, and that can make a big difference.
It certainly can. Fans enjoying themselves as always at this beautiful facility. That is somebody Austin has to figure out how to get the ball to, Andre Lima.
Will Lima find his 9th goal of the year by the end of tonight?
This Fresno team, they know how to win in goal fest. They know how to win in 1-0 games. And just impressive the way they're all on the same page, regardless of the score line.
Tulsa and Phoenix, a little over a half hour in, still without a score. Obviously, we know that can change in a hurry. again, welcome everybody at the watch parties cheering on Los Zorros back in California, as well as everyone in Austin tuned in on KBVO. And Lincoln Rose, Kip McConica with you, reminding you that Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship in many of the finest leagues in the world. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, you can visit selectsportamerica.com. Time to put that Select ball back to use. Again, the setting sun will be an obstacle until the two teams re-emerge from the locker rooms for the second half. Joe Mossi has Isaac out wide. There's Lima, too tall.
That is what Austin needs to do. Get it out wide, serve it into Andre Lima. Well marked that time. The Foxes not giving him any room. They know how dangerous he is, especially with the head.
He's already found the back of the net using his noggin a couple times this year.
And that's one that Lima just has to at least put on frame and force Cochran into a save.
And of course, fans, a reminder that you can follow both the Bold as well as Fresno FC and the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN+. It's home to the USL, MLS, UFC, and more. Join over the 2 million sports fans who've already discovered ESPN+ and watch the championship live every week. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com. You'll also find League 2 matchups, or League 1, pardon me, on there as well. Great resource to go back and watch archives as well. We'll forgive you if you don't want to go back and watch Austin's last matchup. Fresno able to hang on for that 2-1 victory at home against T2 last weekend.
Yeah, their last 3 matches, that 2-1 victory over T2, 2-1 over New Mexico United, 1-0 over fellow California side Sacramento Republic. Those are matches their fans will no doubt want to relive.
It's their best form in their young history now. Last year was their maiden voyage.
I think their attacking center mid is just playing a little higher than
Vasilovic.
and then he goes up, one of the defensive center mids.
I think both goalkeepers have to be pretty pleased with how their back lines have done so far. And, well, that's like Shaquille O'Neal matching with Muggsy Bogues. Andre Lima just going about his business, and there happen to be gentlemen of smaller stature who happen to go down.
Ramon Martin del Campo, not that much smaller. He knew the contact was going to come, and he took full advantage in winning the foul.
Opportunity for Los Zorros, still alive. Jackson. Restrepo can take a breather. Oh, there were a few looks building there for Fresno.
And that may not have been what they were looking for. As you said, a few other chances, a few players working their way open.
You got this, Isaac.
Likely the best look so far here in the 36th minute now. Of course, you can get updates and alerts all year long by following your club on ESPN.com. Simply search for the Austin Bold or Fresno FC, then click the follow button to keep up with the latest news and scores. You'll also get reminders on the Bolds and Fresno's next matches. Go to ESPN.com now and simply click follow for your club. 0-0 entering the 37th minute here in the capital city. Ole. Still not in the clear. And now the foul after Sarah Mooten took a knock to the back of the head. This will bring out a card for the first time as a yellow is awarded to Vasilovic. Arun Vasilovic picks up the mustard. He had already produced his game-winning goal by this point in their matchup last week.
There was certainly contact as there's a Bold player down inside the 18, but not quite sure if that was enough to warrant a card to Vasilovic. Seen a lot of physical play thus far in this one, and as we take another look, see if anything stands out, and it really doesn't in that situation. I think Vasilovic has a pretty good argument of some of the fouls that
Yeah, I couldn't tell if his left elbow had come up or not. That would be the only claim there. But the tough angle for us to be decisive on it, as it was Sarah Mooten who went down. See if we can see a left elbow come up.
And you see it there close to maybe the back of the head of Sarah Mooten. Maybe that's what drew the caution from our referee.
Meanwhile, it was Josue Soto that just popped up as well after he had gone down before that yellow came about. Diego Restrepo won a national title at the University of Virginia. Of course, over the years, nice career in the state of Florida alone with both the Rowdies and the Strikers. More recently here in the Lone Star State with SAFC and now with the Austin Bold.
Yeah, he's played professionally in Colombia and Venezuela. The last few years, he's been able to call Texas home.
Chavez. Set pieces have been hard to come by for these two teams in the final third. Not a lot of mental mistakes by either defense. Guadarrama, what does he have in mind? He'll take it himself. Slapped down by Cochran, and the ball comes right back to the man with the one on his back.
And at this point, Austin not getting chances from inside the 18. Guadarrama, why not? Optimistic attempt from long range. Cochran read it the whole time, was there. What we've seen from these two goalkeepers in Restrepo and Cochran tonight, it's going to take something extra special to find the opener.
You saw the tally, shots on goal. First time Cochran officially has had to intervene. Vasilovic distributes out wide, header, looking for the final touch. Restrepo able to keep us scoreless for a moment at least. And the shutout still intact.
Oh my, what a save from Diego Restrepo. His body going one way, able to get his left hand, his fingertips to the ball, just enough to keep it from crossing the goal line.
Fresno thought surely that was the moment when they would create separation on the board.
And that is something Austin fans have grown accustomed to seeing this year. Miraculous saves from Diego Restrepo, and another one here.
The Foxes had found the open man, at least for the moment, I believe, in Lawal. Here they come again. Should be a goal kick.
And the chances for Fresno are coming because of the unselfish play. They are moving the ball quickly, finding the open man. Take another look at this incredible save from Restrepo. Lawal heads it down to Restrepo. Just the fingernail to it, and that was enough to keep it out.
Okugo was there to help with a team save if needed. But what a beautiful piece of distribution from Chavez. He was robbed of an assist. Jaime Chavez sitting on 3 goals, 2 assists this year. The man out of Industry, California, previously a Tampa Bay Rowdy in his own right. I expect some stoppage time here in the first half. Remember, we did have the hydration break. Kleber already with some thoughts of his own there on the bench for the Bold.
And Austin lacking what Kleber brings. He's that midfielder, the distributor, your enganche, if you will, the man in the middle of the park pulling the strings, and Austin has not been able to replace him.
Austin, even though they did not manage any points at Phoenix, still remained in 4th place in the West. Their tiebreaker on the other 2 teams tied for 4th is the fact that they have more wins in competition. Tierpak to promise. Bold strike first. Tierpak getting the start tonight. able to dial up Promise Isaac for his second goal of his young bold career.
We said we wanted to see Promise Isaac more involved offensively, and he is here. A beautiful goal, but give all the credit in the build-up to Chris Tierpak. A slaloming run right through the heart of Los Oros defensively. Tierpak would not be dispossessed. Lays it off to Isaac, and Isaac, no mistake for the opener.
Isaac able to steer it around Del Campo and past Cochran.
Look at Tierpak, just right through. He finds Isaac. He went by 4 men in white jerseys, but he was unselfish, laid it off to a teammate who found the goal.
Neither of these teams produced a goal in the first 84 minutes of their meeting back in May. Austin has itself a lead here in the opening half.
Austin fans have grown accustomed to Chris Tierpak as the super sub, but he just brings a spark, whether it's in the starting 11 or coming off the bench. Just has those intangibles.
Mind you, this is after Fresno probably thought on a couple of occasions they had the opener for the night.
And they would have for sure had it not been for the absolutely incredible save from Diego Restrepo. But Austin doing what good teams do. Their goalkeeper makes a great save, and they reward him with a goal.
The wall. Okugo. It's a Fresno team very capable of leveling this one before halftime.
You're exactly right, and Austin needs to be careful. They need to get this into the break, into the half with a 1-0 lead. If Fresno's able to equalize before the halftime whistle, all the momentum would be on their side to start the second half.
Del Campo will swing it out to the right side. It's the first start of the year for Tuamasi. Emma stepped away from the bold earlier this month to get a friendly in with FC Dallas. Another ball takes a couple of precarious hops through the box, but no damage done.
And Austin able to clear it away, but right back to Fresno. Los Oros. Almost everyone in white on the offensive end. They are pressing hard for this equalizer.
Fresno has only lost twice all year. Only one of those losses on the road, and we will have no fewer than 4 additional minutes of stoppage time.
Austin was hoping for 3, but with that hydration break, just had the feeling that it was going to be at least 4, and it is.
Restrepo part of that second longest ever shutout streak in the USL, 672 minutes in that go-around with San Antonio a couple years ago. Ironically, it's Sean McFarland who snapped that streak with a goal. Now teammates with Restrepo. McFarland not in the lineup tonight. He's been so valuable as an offensive-minded defender.
He has, and you've seen that, those wing backs getting the offense started. Traditionally, it was the defenders winning the ball and then looking up, trying to find a midfielder to get it to. Not anymore. Those left and right backs, they can play all over the pitch. And McFarland, a great example of that.
Meanwhile, we see Tierpak drifting back, working in some defense along the way.
And you're going to see that from this Austin team. They're going to be very defensively minded here in the final few minutes of this first half.
Soto with the bold, previously with Liga MX. Our difference right now, the second goal of the year for Promise Isaac. Man who 1 year ago was in the NPSL with the Georgia Revolution. Chris Tierpak was with 3 different clubs last year.
Oh, what a tackle from Taylor. Beautiful. It's feast or famine when you go to ground at the top of the box. Well timed, well executed by Taylor.
They don't count up the stoppage time.
Cooper. Sarah Mooten finally able to gain control of that ball for the Bold. Again, Sarah Mooten, born in Camden, New Jersey. Regularly a captain for the Russian national teams from the U16 up to the U19 level. Professionally, though, would just dabble in the D3 side of things over in Russia. It has provided some nice depth, and today a reliable starter for Austin.
He's done a good job. He's done what's asked of him. Nothing too fancy. Solid, reliable from Sarah Mooten.
Lima and Isaac that time, both a little too unselfish, and Soto takes an elbow to his temple for his efforts after he himself was guilty of pulling on Jackson.
So we saw the yellow earlier. It came out to Vasilovic.
Andre Lima is ready to reenact what he thought was an infringement. Soto tugging on Jackson, and then you'll see a little left elbow take Soto as well, but he knew he wasn't exactly an innocent participant.
I think that was equal offenders from both sides.
Looking to level it. Instead, no Fox able to pounce on it. It's Restrepo. Final whistle of the opening half. The lone goal belonging to the Austin Bold. Trying to continue a run of 4 matches unbeaten here at home, and along the way bounce back from a tough loss out west in Phoenix this past week. We have reached the midway break. Andre Lima and the Bold head to the locker room. When we come back, first half stats and a look around the league here in the USL Championship.
Getting ready. That man literally has a cannon full of legs. Here he goes, winding up for the shot, and oh! The cannon has fired and hit Sterling directly down.
He clocks that at a stunning 160 kilometers per hour.
Now that's a lot of miles per hour.
Little chance that man's nose is not broken.
Oh, indeed. Now Sterling checked out of that one. Spectacular save, though, but sadly he's not out of the woods yet.
On his feet now, a bit shaken.
But not stirred.
This crowd absolutely loves this man.
And Sterling's teammates welcome him back, a hero. Now,
He yells up again for the second attempt, looking to make it 2-0.
he approaches the ball with some determination. Here he goes. Oh!
It's high and wide, way off target.
Yes, apparently he thought he was kicking a field goal.
Wrong kind of football, I'd say.
Good show.
Back now to Scott Sterling. He looks a bit worse for wear, but ready for round 2.
And Shaw takes a moment. Here he goes with the approach. Oh!
Sterling with a fantastic dive. The ball flies straight through his hands, and once again strikes him straight in the schnoz.
And let's see it again on the old instant replay. Oh, every excruciating detail captured in HD perfection.
Clocked at 129 kilometers per hour. Sterling does not look well.
2 wonderful saves and 2 definite concussions.
They replace him at this point. He's done all he can.
Yes, as the trainer takes him off the field like a mustached lion dragging a gazelle through the Serengeti.
Adieu, Scott Sterling. Adieu.
Yale now with their 3rd PK.
Richards is in the goal, bouncing like an infant.
This match is brought to you by Ascension Seton, the official medical provider and sports medicine partner of your Austin Bold. By Courtyard by Marriott. Step up your stay at the Courtyard Austin Pflugerville, where winners feel at home. And by H-E-B, the official grocery store of your Austin Bold. No store does more than H-E-B. Promise Isaac finds the difference maker in the opening 45 minutes. Chris Tierpak dials him up for the lone goal in favor of the Austin Bold midway through.
And it's my pleasure to welcome all of you to Del Seton Medical Center at the University of Texas for a very exciting announcement this morning, to where we're announcing that Ascension Seton is both the title sponsor and the medical provider for the new Austin Bold here in Texas. So we're very excited for that. So when the players, athletes, or families need care, we're going to be there and have the people available for you on the field. And you can rest assured that Ascension Seton and our affiliated physicians will be ready to serve. And so with that, I'd like to welcome up to the stage the owner of our new soccer team, the Austin Bold, Bobby Epstein.
You know, I was trying to think of a lot of the similarities, and there are a lot of similarities between Ascension Seton and the work they do, and the Austin Bold and the work we try and do. With all the giving you do, we want to be meaningful too. And for that, and to show our commitment to this community, the Bold are going to give 5% of all their ticket sales to Dell Children's Hospital.
It's Freighter! What a hit!
Crossing in, it's a goal! Keeps a better knock away myself. Omar Salgado, the hometown hero.
Streaking run from Josh Suggs.
The cross keeps the better. Another brace. Moore!
There's so much pride in this state. There's, I think, been so much pent-up demand in people who have just been looking for a way to shine and come through, and they're so capable. Some of the best people in the world live in New Mexico.
This idea was sort of born from that, you know, why don't we have a section in our stadium that is devoted entirely to the underserved, the underprivileged, you know, maybe kids who would never have the opportunity to come do this, or public servants in our community, firefighters, teachers.
It's really about uniting to the community. It's really about seeing positive outcomes for people. When I see a positive outcome for someone and I see someone start to believe in themselves more and understand what their capabilities are, it makes me feel so happy, because I think oftentimes people aren't in a situation where they're able to really fully shine. And we have, individually, we have so much inside. It's probably so much more than we're even allowed or think we can give every day. So let's create a platform that gives and encourages giving and encourages community. And I think if we do that, we can make a real change.
For example, we have the YMCA coming, so we gave 75 tickets there. There was 150 tickets went to Herman Sanchez Community Center, and then, you know, the others went to other kids in the community that really would not have this opportunity.
But by the way, if it was gone and someone else wanted to get in, we'd make it happen. It's for everybody.
So it's a way to spread goodwill in our own community to the people who need it most.
It's not just about a game anymore. You know, New Mexico is really out there making a statement.
We wanted everybody from, you know, Albuquerque to Santa Fe to the, you know, the eastern and western corners of the state, southern. You're part of this team. You're part of this family. It's a movement, really, more than anything else, and we want everyone to know that they're a part of it. That's what our name means, United.
This match is brought to you by Dell Children's Ascension, the official charity partner of Austin Bold FC. Courtyard by Marriott. Step up your stay at the Courtyard Austin Pflugerville, where winners feel at home. And by H-E-B, the official grocery store of your Austin Bold. No store does more than H-E-B. The beautiful scenic looks at Arrowhead Park and Lago Vista nearby. Lincoln Rose, Kit McConico, as again, Kit, this is what it's all about. Everybody chasing Phoenix, who's tied with that victory against Austin, the USL Championship mark of 10 straight victories. No signs of slowing down. A slow start against Tulsa, but that could easily pick up. Reno, Fresno, right there in the hunt. We call this a 6-pointer because it could either create a big gap between Fresno and Austin, or start to narrow it a tad in favor of the home side tonight.
You're absolutely right, and Austin knows the importance of this match. Coming off that tough loss to Phoenix Rising, you see that incredible plus 35 goal differential, but for Austin tonight, they need 3 points here at home. They've only lost once and off to a good start, leading 1-0 at the break.
Fresno, one of 3 California sides right now above the playoff cutoff line. Take a look at some of the scores of matches already underway. San Antonio's found a couple of goals early on at Toyota Field, welcoming the side from Salt Lake City to town. Still scoreless 45 minutes in between Phoenix and Tulsa. Later on tonight, you see a couple of evening matchups out on the West Coast. Well, when you talk about, at this point in the season, some of the headlines that we're keeping an eye on, well, not great news for the Bold and their depth. Fabian Garcia now officially out for the season after the shoulder injury and subsequent surgery, successful this month.
Yeah, the French midfielder, he will be out, and that's a big loss, especially to the depth in the center of the park for Austin.
And you talk about, if you're the USL Championship, you are thrilled with how expansion sides are performing this year, and the Bold has been among the best.
They really have. This has been a fantastic season for the Bold. They've been very upfront about it. They said they wanted to compete for a championship, and they're well on their way to doing so. 3 points tonight would really put them on the right path.
Next time Austin's at home, Los Dos will be in town. That will be Military Night here in Austin, again, August 10th. Midway through, the Bold hanging on to a 1-goal advantage over Fresno here at the half.
T-shirt toss brought to you by HEB. The HEB ball kids will be tossing shirts and towels to the crowd. Get on your feet and make some noise!
Both teams just now starting to emerge from the locker room 45 minutes in. It is halftime here at Bold Stadium. Austin Bold able to find the difference makers so far. They're near the end of the opening half.
Austin doing a great job. They found that lone goal in the 43rd minute, courtesy of Promise Isaac. Take a look at the first half highlights. Diego Restrepo coming up with a huge save, just one of a few in that first half.
Yeah, Fresno has to feel like they could easily be even 1-1 or possibly up 2-1. Isaac testing the waters a little bit early on, but Cochran had the answer at that point.
Cochran did indeed. He only faced a few shots, came up with all the saves until that last one. Best opportunity, well, it would come in just a few minutes, but Restrepo, as he has all season long, generally in the right place.
Back and forth, both teams started knocking on that threshold a little more often as we approach the final minutes of the opening 45. This was the best look for the Foxes, but Restrepo doing what he does.
Oh, Restrepo, an absolutely incredible save. The Foxes thought they found the opener, and then just a few minutes later, Chris Tierpak, right through the heart of the defense, lays it off to Promise Isaac, who finds the only goal of the first 45.
They would play another 4 minutes of stoppage time in that opening half, but the score would hold right there, 1-0, as Chris Tierpak and Promise Isaac, two of the men they've relied on for depth this year, coming through as starters tonight. You see some of the numbers. What stands out to you?
Shots on target for Austin. They have more than Fresno does. Not something you traditionally see. Fresno, a team that takes a lot of shots possession. It was heavily in favor of Fresno, particularly early on. Austin did a better job of working back into it late in the first half.
We will not pretend we know what the outcome of this match is going to be. Will it be the Bold finding insurance, or will Fresno click it into gear and continue their 7-match unbeaten streak? And of course, we talked about that 7-match unbeaten streak after Austin tonight. They will then welcome Las Vegas to town in a rematch of their earlier meeting this year, and back on the road north of the Red River against OKC. And then a nice homestand coming up, including the men from Salt Lake City, Colorado Springs, and again, Tulsa. As for the Bold, we mentioned Military Appreciation Night when LA Galaxy comes to town. But first, a difficult journey over to another one of those expansion sides at New Mexico.
Austin in the midst of a very difficult 3-game span. They were on the road at Phoenix. They lost. They were blown out by Phoenix in that one. Now taking on a good team here tonight, and then they're going to have to go to New Mexico to take on one of the other top teams in the Western Conference.
September 1st against RGV will be the next Copa Tejas matchup for Austin Bold right now in the driver's seat. Well, again, some of the great stories around the league, including the organ donor awareness in Las Vegas tonight. They've got some special kits. You've really got to look it up on social media to see the design of those uniforms. A San Diego new addition with Landon Donovan and company helping bring that side to town over in California. Finally, a USL Championship team in the Golden State, right? That'll be great competition for that derby. And then, of course, Martinez with the first ever hat trick for the Real Monarchs last weekend. Lincoln Rose, Kip McConicle with you. We get closer to the start of the second half. Let's check back in with Austin Ivan.
Thanks, Lincoln. Well, the first half of play was a bit aggressive. There was one yellow card, and that aggressive play carried over into halftime as the Bold and Fresno were both entering the locker room. They have to go down a narrow hallway together, and there was a bit of shoving going on. It wasn't anything too serious, but there was a little bit of aggression going on, so make sure to look for that aggression to carry over out onto the field the second half now.
A reminder, Austin's next yellow will have her sitting out a match, but she is never going to give up that competitor within. Former Division I athlete in her own right. And again, there's the man who is the chef for Austin Bold, putting together all these international ingredients and producing a nice Saturday evening meal from one weekend to the next.
Marcelo Serrano, you asked these players, they played across the world, they've won titles just about everywhere. Why are you here in Austin? What drew you to being a member of the Bold? And they all have the same response, Coach Serrano.
Andre Lima with the ball at his feet there. He hopes to have it right around his forehead the next time he sees it. We have swapped ends, and the setting sun no longer an issue here tonight. Tip of the hat to Alan Moreno here in the broadcast booth for helping us at times battle against that impartial sun.
And Austin has to be anticipating a quick start from Fresno here in the second half. They conceded that lone goal in the 43rd minute. They worked hard to find the equalizer, couldn't at the end of the first half, and Austin knows they will be trying to do the same thing early here in the second to equalize this one as quickly as possible.
I believe at least one substitution there at the half with Christian Cheney coming on for Fresno. Cheney, again, homegrown out of Fresno, California. Previous stop at Sacramento Republic. And he was the young man who was trying to stay onside, and here is Cheney with the ball back at his feet.
Cheney, great size, 6'3", almost 200 pounds. He's an imposing force offensively.
Again, he's one of the 7 players who have already teamed together in the past in the former PDL with the Fresno Fuego or with Fresno FC, the U23s. Makes his 11th appearance on the year, has managed to find 3 goals along the way. They're hoping he can find a 4th one here today. Chavez. Chavez was so close to helping guide Los Zorros to the opening advantage. believe another one of your subs there, and Diego Casillas will prompt the yellow on Soto.
Austin mentioned the halftime interaction, if you will, and you're seeing that carrying out onto the pitch here early in the second half.
Number 20, Josue Soto.
So 2 changes for Adam Smith for the start of the second half. A second straight match that Cheney comes off the bench. He worked in the final 25 minutes of that win against Portland. And then the Mexican Diego Casillas. Previously had been with the U23 side for Fresno. Makes his 13th appearance now here tonight. Austin Bold entered this year, average age the oldest team in the USL Championship, as an expansion side looking for men with experience. They always have to appreciate it when the other team has to sub first.
There's a lot of second guessing around the league, and the pundits on Austin bringing in a lot of older talent, veterans that no doubt had played very high level soccer, but how much did they have left?
Ball sent in. Casillas was looking for the instant impact with a contribution, but nobody to play with. Chumasi, who gets his first start, able to break free. Tad heavy, however, slips away from Guadarrama. And there you see the changes. It was Jackson who came out for Casillas. And after Judas Lawal had the game winner against Austin back in May, he will not be finding the back of the net at the expense of Restrepo tonight.
You get the feeling Adam Smith wanting to make changes at half to bring more speed onto the pitch, really put the pressure on Austin. Rare that you see 2 changes at the break. See how it plays out for Fresno.
Chumasi will send it in touch. Of course, Emma Chumasi coming to Austin along with Francis Atuahene. Those two have been joined at the hip throughout much of their career, with the exception of their time in Division I college soccer. As Kit mentioned, one played in the ACC with Wake Forest, the other with Michigan in the Big Ten.
They're both originally from Ghana, played in that same academy program, then rejoined with FC Dallas, and now here in Austin.
Casillas from 25, well wide from Chavez.
And Chavez just not quite sure. Saw a bit of space, looked to turn, but just didn't get all the way around Sarah Mooten. Reason that shot not on frame.
Yeah, give Valeri credit there. Not allowing Chavez to close those hips. Tracked down by Taylor. Those 6 years in Major League Soccer for Jermaine Taylor, the defender, with Houston, Portland, as well as Minnesota United. Those 3 Caribbean Cup titles. Trying to guide the Austin Bold to some hardware this year.
He's 2017 best 11 of the Gold Cup. His final run there with the Reggae Boys.
With apologies to Fresno, you wish they would play the ball on this other half of the pitch so you can enjoy the backdrop of Austin, Texas on Saturday night. They humor us for a moment. Looking for Tierpak. He's got Lima down the spine. Instead, out wide to Isaac, looking for the brace, shut down by Cochran.
That was the combination on the first goal. Tierpak to Isaac again. Tierpak looking to play the distributor, but Isaac unable to get by Cochran.
That's something we haven't seen this year, but Andre Lima can be a beautiful decoy. It's hard to ignore the 6'1" tower coming right down the middle of the pitch.
You're exactly right. And all the focus is on Lima, and rightfully so. The reason he leads the Bold with 8 goals, and sometimes too much focus. We saw that open up for Isaac. Isaac with the lone goal thus far, and a good ball from Guadarrama hits Tierpak in stride. Tierpak looking to play Isaac. Isaac may have had a chance to take a touch to settle that one, and instead he elected to take it first touch. Cochran there at the near post.
He had 1 goal all season coming into tonight in USL Championship play, almost a brace here this evening. And one of his teammates still down for the moment.
Make no mistake about it, Isaac can score goals, and speaking with the coaching staff the last few weeks, they said he's really come on. He's really showing up in practice. He's the guy who's improved a lot in these last few weeks, and they're just waiting for that to translate to what they see in matches, and it's been the case tonight.
Guadarrama who helped get all of that started. And Marcelo Serrano.
Long time with the national teams of Brazil at the youth level, coached the youth level for the national team here in the States as well. Now the head man for the senior side of U.S. Virgin Islands.
Brought in by his friend, Roberto Pinto da Silva, general manager of the Austin Bold. Again, if you are not familiar with where we are, it is Bold Stadium. We are nestled into turn 15 of the F1 racetrack, Circuit of the Americas, the only F1 track in North America. You wouldn't know it from this beautiful view. Just behind us, the monstrous winding track. And of course, also a concert venue. Last night it was Beck. Taylor Swift and Justin Timberlake, no strangers.
Yeah, there's really nothing quite like being out here. I was attending a practice a few weeks ago, and you hear the Ferraris going around the turn. It's, I don't know.
Oh, I didn't see you.
Many soccer stadiums where that's the case. I wasn't driving. It may have been you. My apologies.
Fresno looking for the equalizer here, 55th minute. Kaffa, just not on the same page.
I mentioned the matches this year that Austin has gotten an early lead, and they've seen their opponents come back to at least draw or take the lead, and they're going to have to be careful tonight.
It's going to do it for Sonny Guadarrama. He is done for the night. With that said, they have a pretty fine option to replace Sonny G. It is Kleber. The Gladiator coming off the bench tonight.
Native of Sao Paulo, grew up in that Sao Paulo system. Played professionally for numerous teams in Brazil, including Grêmio, where he paired with Andre Lima there for the Giants of Porto Alegre. It appeared that Sonny Guadarrama picked up a bit of a knock on that tackle. He was down on the pitch for a bit afterwards and just slow to his feet, a hitch in his gait. As you so correctly said, when you have a player like Kleber waiting on the bench, no reason not to make the change.
So Kleber, the first man off the bench tonight for Marcelo Serrano. For Kleber, it's the first time he's come off the bench this year after making 16 starts. See Tierpak on the near side. Will they link up? Lima.
Lima looking to get Kleber involved immediately.
Mickey Daly was able to slow down the attack for a moment, and again will send it into touch. A throw here coming up for the Bold.
And the thing that Kleber brings, he has the touch. He reads the game so well, but the last thing they say to leave a player is his touch, and Kleber certainly has it in spades.
Austin threatening here, looking for insurance.
Hey, what's up?
Early touch for Kleber.
How you doing? We're talking about 3v3 today.
Yeah, so Jaden and Tuck played together.
And a little breathing room now for Fresno. A reminder to tune in to ESPN3 on July 31st for Wednesday night soccer in the land of enchantment. Two of USL's newest clubs battle for playoff positioning as El Paso Locomotive FC travels to New Mexico United in that great derby clash. You can see it all again the final day of this month, July 31st, on Wednesday night soccer on ESPN3. El Paso, no shortage of rivalries in this year number one. A fellow first-year son in New Mexico, of course, here with Austin as well, part of Copa Tejas.
Well, proximity-wise, that's a lot closer rivalry to New Mexico than it is to the other Texas teams.
So many cities in Texas are closer to state capitals of other states than they are here in the Lone Star State. No mistake made that time around by the Foxes as Bold looking to pounce.
Austin really building, turning the screws a bit. See if they can find that insurance goal. It would be massive, that 2-0 advantage. They're a long ways from finding that goal.
Casillas, one of the two second half subs for Coach Adam Smith.
We need like an inside, like
You're just chilling with me. I don't think
Baez. Javi Baez. Nobody picked him up. Ball spilled loose. Cochran not made to pay. But it will be a corner kick for the Bold. Isaac saw a wide open frame.
And Promise Isaac a great chance on the rebound. Lost his footing, couldn't get to it. No one coming out to close down on Javi Baez. Javi Baez wisely takes the shot. Isaac right here just can't keep his feet underneath him. A huge opportunity missed.
Clever to do the honors.
I'll bring lollipops every game, baby.
You see the wind at the back of Clever for this delivery. Tierpak will head it into touch. Isaac had the opportunity, just could not stay on his feet.
And that is a rebound. Rare that Cochran allows a rebound like that. Isaac bearing down. All he had to do was get a boot or a head to it. Just couldn't keep his footing.
So Cochran has helped keep this tight, just down by 1 goal. Can his Zorros take advantage? And Tierpak is going to be called for this infraction. Chris Tierpak now, essentially trademark headgear. Another look, the foul on Chris.
The easy call there, Tierpak. Got a bit of the ball, but more of Casillas. And you wonder if the chance would come via set piece for Fresno. They haven't had many opportunities through the run of play in the second half. Austin defensively much better than we saw in the first 45.
Andre Lima was being held, the reason for the whistle there, setting up this kick from Restrepo at the edge of his 18. Clever to Andre. Tierpak, Cochran's off the line. Cochran finally able to smother the loose ball. And Sarah Mooten still down.
Sarah Mooten just unable to locate the ball. Cochran off his line and was able to get there to claim it. Did a good job avoiding Sarah Mooten for the most part. Another opportunity for Austin. Lima playing the distributor this time. The battle in the box. Sarah Mooten there with Daly. Sarah Mooten may have been...
Sarah Mooten still down as we come back to live play here.
He was just trying to locate that ball. He was trying to figure out a way to get a shot off.
Greg Dopka reassuring the Foxes that he has a functioning watch as they grow a little concerned that Austin's just trying to make the next 30 minutes disappear.
Austin at times has tried to park the bus. It has not been successful. That is not their style. They need to continue to press, look for this second goal. They know against a team as talented as Fresno, one goal most probably is not going to be enough.
Pretty good one there, and Robert Earnshaw, in this case, left-hand man for Adam Smith. 35 goals in a single campaign with Cardiff City. Actually managed to find a hat trick at every level of professional soccer in England.
That's incredible. A pure goal scorer, Earnshaw. There are a lot of players who never score a hat trick in their entire career. Earnshaw did it at every level.
Austin putting on a little clinic here. Austin not inclined to park the bus. Even if they were to kill time, they wouldn't be stalling along the back row. They enjoy possession up front.
It's about possession with a purpose, keeping it up front with those men in the attacking third, keeping pressure on your opponents.
Nice job by Daly to slow things down.
And this back line from Fresno getting a lot more work than they did in the first half. It's been a busy 10 or 15 minutes.
Out wide to the fresh legs of Casillas. Casillas sends one in. It was Chavez looking for the answer. Diego Restrepo declines respectfully.
Chavez, a beautiful ball served to him on a platter. He tried to go high, should have gone at the goal line. That is one you want to put low. It's a more difficult save, but you see it right here. I say that. Just another brilliant save from Diego Restrepo.
It sets up the corner kick here. Restrepo in the bowl, not yet in the clear. This time Diego able to squeeze it in. Diego Restrepo turned 31 back in February. Born in Venezuela, grew up in Colombia before making his way to West Palm Beach at age 11. He would be a part of the IMG Academy, split his college career between USF and then the national championship in Charlottesville with Virginia. One of the first pieces put in place here on this bold roster.
And you can see why, what he brings to this team, what he brings to any team. The reason he was the league goalkeeper of the year in 2017 when he was with San Antonio. And you talk to the Austin players, what it means when they look back to see him between the sticks.
He knows if he had faltered, he has an impressive young keeper waiting in the wings in Juan David Ramirez.
We haven't seen the youngster from Colombia much this year, but when we have, he's certainly lived up to the billing.
Ramirez on loan. From Colombia.
Yeah, they're out of arguably the most successful team in Colombia, certainly in recent years, Atlético Nacional of Medellín.
Will the Bold treat their fans to another 3 points tonight? You see the form for Fresno. That first day of June. Otherwise, you're talking about 2 months without a loss. If they can avoid defeat tonight. Nobody there to help Tierpak in a black kit.
Tierpak, he made a run previously. Kleber just didn't find him. But he can't just be Chris Tierpak. Needs to get the rest of that front line for Austin more involved.
Again, in a Western Conference where good teams win at home but still struggle on the road, Fresno has found success on the road as well. Just one home loss, one road loss. Already 10 wins on the young campaign.
And that's the difference between those teams at the top in Phoenix, Fresno, and Reno.
Soto plucks away cleanly from Chavez. Bold trying to build. Too heavy for Kleber. Cochran not going to let the Gladiator have a chance.
The idea was there. Austin looking dangerous.
Again, C.J. Cochran, all 20 starts this year between those pipes. Has allowed 20 goals through those 20 matches. There will not be a 7th clean sheet tonight, but certainly points well within reach for the visiting Sun.
For a team that scored 34 goals coming into tonight, they've been shut down. A few massive saves from Restrepo, the big reason.
Perhaps the equalizer coming up. Diving header and a diving answer.
Again, Diego Restrepo on the spot. He's in the right place, reads the game, his movement, and that's something that's underrated in goalkeepers, is how well they move in the box, and he's tops.
Another look at the stop from Restrepo after Casillas. You couldn't ask much more from the subs. Speaking of subs, Austin Bold will dip back into their bench for DeMar Phillips, his 9th appearance now on the year as he comes in defensively for Josue Soto.
This is a good change. Phillips, who can play just about anywhere on the pitch, listed as a defender, but he can score goals. He did it in his time in England. He brings a lot of versatility to Austin.
He claimed 2 titles in his 5 years in Norway. Stoke City on that resume as well. So 72 caps with the Jamaican national team for the Kingston native as Phillips comes on again. This is his 3rd showing off the bench this year after joining the team back in April. So again, Soto goes up and down that wing, much like Sion McFarland does on the near side. And a lot of mileage tonight. They'll bring in fresh legs to replace him with Phillips.
And they expect the same from Phillips. May have a bit more speed than Soto, certainly capable of getting up and down the pitch. And with just 20 minutes remaining, expect to see a lot of DeMar Phillips.
Austin in 4th place coming into the night. Again, a 3-way tie points-wise for that number 4 spot. Austin had the benefit of 1 more win. While draws have accumulated enough points for the teams nipping at their heels. Chavez, a little bit of space to work with. But Restrepo not called upon this time.
And give Austin credit defensively. They're keeping numbers behind the ball, and that's important against a team like Fresno, for a team that their goals have come in the box.
It's going to be the final sub for Adam Smith. Chavez will come off for Jamal Johnson. You and I first saw Jamal here in the States, his time with Jacksonville Armada of the NASL at the time, the Manchester, England native. Makes his 19th appearance now. And in response, we'll see the other man on loan from FC Dallas in place for the lone goal scorer tonight. Promise Isaac comes off with his 2nd goal of the year. And again, on comes the youngster, the 23-year-old Francis Atuahene.
And both teams having made all 3 substitutions. Atuahene coming on for Isaac, and what a match for Isaac. They put a little pressure on his shoulders. They wanted to see more from him offensively, and he responded.
Atuahene's first touch, able to turn and fire, but denied within 5 yards.
Atuahene, he can score goals. We've seen it here in Austin, saw it with FC Dallas.
Former first-round selection, number 4 overall pick in that MLS Super Draft for FC Dallas back in 2018. He made his debut on his birthday last year in June. Found a goal 42 seconds into his MLS debut against San Jose. A dream beginning. And Tierpak will be called for the foul.
Nice shot from Okugo there, coming up to win it in the center third. Guy who does not get nearly as enough recognition as he should.
And a reminder, the USL unveiled its elite youth program, the USL Academy. This allows clubs at all levels across the USL to develop its local youth and compete at the highest level across the United States, including USL Academy Cup. For more information, visit uslsoccer.com/academy. And that's one of the more exciting things going on in the USL at any level as they continue to grow. Realistically eyeing potentially 40 teams in the championship, 40 teams in League One, and continuing to help grow American soccer.
Well, the country as large as ours, the huge population we have, USL doing everything it can to grow the game, put teams in areas where there haven't been previously, and that's what we're going to need.
Austin Bold right now with a couple of teenagers they're excited about down the road. We've seen Julian Gaines come on once this year for a half hour of play, originally out of Lone Star Soccer Club here in the area, and of course Beto Avila, part of the Bold Academy, also with ties to Lone Star.
And having those teams really gives those young players an opportunity to play at a top level, not having to travel, move away from home. Best of both worlds. Tense times for Coach Serrano. He's seen opponents come back when Austin is led by 1, when Austin is led by 2.
He has used up all 3 subs now, but I'd still like to see him have Tierpak come off and then be reintroduced
I really want to get that out of here.
to get the full effect of number 19. Casillas, who was so close with a header earlier, leveling this one. And a dangerous effort there. Sarah Mooten called for the foul.
And Sarah Mooten, quite frankly, lucky that he was not awarded a yellow there. See it again, and now I think we've seen yellows for less tonight.
In theory, 15 minutes remain. Both sides, though, have used their full allotment of subs here in the second half. No goal as of yet here in the second half of play. A goal kick coming up for Diego Restrepo, as Cooper has been in there for the full match.
Getting to the point in the match where Austin, one eye on the clock, they want to take time off, but you have to continue to press, continue to attack. It's a difficult balance.
Can Fresno find a way to continue this run of unbeaten matches? Looking for the first goal here. Not just yet. Nothing doing for Los Zorros as the opportunity unveiled itself for Jamal Johnson.
Johnson maybe just a touch too many as he'd really cut down his angle. Restrepo had that near post covered.
Is that a handball? The last time at home, Austin went up 2-0 to Orange County Only to see OC pull level. Not until the 90th minute did then a sub, Chris Tierpak, find a classic game winner. Boulder hoping that the goal from Isaac, who's now done for the night, will hold up this evening. Along the way, of course, that would give the Restrepo a 7th clean sheet.
And as good as Fresno's been this year, just one victory in 6 matches when they've conceded the opening goal. Conversely, you look at when they score first, they have won 9, drawn 3, and not lost a match.
More often than not, matches have gone the way of Adam Smith's men. Just 2 losses all season here in year number 2 for Fresno.
And Austin and their fans have to be pleased with the response after that devastating loss last week at Phoenix. And as good as the Rising have been, anytime you lose a match 6-0.
Tierpak at the bottom of your screen. The ball will never reach him, as Cochran's men able to slam that door shut.
As cliche as it sounds, it's been a bit of a rallying cry this week in practice for this Bold side. Their general manager, Roberto Pinto da Silva, he did an unofficial poll. He said, how many of you guys have lost the match 6-0? Very few, if any, had.
A little too quick of a restart here. It will be Fresno's ball.
It's okay, it's only the referees that see it. Yeah, you were on
A driving ball still within play in the penalty area. As Tierpak returns to sender.
We are in for an entertaining final 10+ minutes of this one. Make no mistake about it. Cheney, few opportunities for the big substitute.
Oh, Casillas just has it plucked away by Phillips. But in the end, Casillas gets the last laugh. Corner kick coming up here for Fresno.
You wondered if the chance would come via set piece.
They scored off a corner for the opening strike against T2 last weekend. It's the captain doing the honors here with Kaffa. Looking to level this one.
Just too tall. Everyone inside the 6, no one lurking. You have to keep somebody back behind.
This is Bold ball for a throw. Let's see if there's going to be a yellow for a delay. An accusation of shenanigans. Well, it has been a match that could easily go either way. At the moment, it favors the home side. Austin unbeaten in their last 4 at home. That's the glass half full. Of course, the glass completely empty was that 6-0 loss in Phoenix last week against the top side in the West, a team that Austin had beaten 1-0 here in Texas before Phoenix really found its form.
Well, Phoenix happy to return the favor. Austin hoping to do the same after losing a 1-0 match at Fresno back in May.
Is tripped up, foul called on Fresno.
It goes without saying, but after losing 6-0, the worst loss in franchise history, if Austin is able to come back to secure the full 3 points tonight, and there's still a lot of time remaining before they can do that, this could really spark them on a run.
Oh, that's better. 3, 2, 1.
Well, we take a look at the difference maker in this one. Promise Isaac, his second goal on the season. It came in the 43rd minute, and so far it's still holding up.
Chris Tierpak made the run, a beautiful run right through the heart of the Fresno defense. And Isaac happy to find the opener, the assist from Tierpak, the lone goal thus far.
A couple of starters on the bench the rest of the way. Sonny Guadarrama along with Promise Isaac. Hoping it holds up as a game winner. Talking to Speedy Joe. Those two were teammates in Georgia in the NPSL last year.
So what you appears that universal sign of a cramp for Javi Baez, a man who runs as much as he does. Easy to understand why, but both teams have made all their substitutions. Baez will have to continue, or Austin will have to play a man down.
Fans hoping to celebrate a full 3 points tonight. After Fresno captured the 3 at home back in May with that game winner in the 85th minute. Adam Smith, a little interaction there with Javi Baez. And all this is after the cramping from Baez. We now expect a fairly significant stoppage time. Fresno's going to have their opportunities.
Oh, they will. You're exactly right about that. Plenty of time remaining.
Baez not yet allowed to come back on.
Haven't seen a lot from Basulovic here in the second half for Fresno. I wonder if he's the man. Can he find the equalizer?
Baez now invited to re-enter as Lima will get back to his feet. Helped up by the opposing captain, Kafa. Too many dance partners for Andre Lima. The Rio native hasn't found that 9th goal just yet. Number 8 was 2 weeks ago, right here at Bold Stadium. Kleber into the penalty area. Oh, an awkward hop, but Cochran handles it with ease.
Cochran, a quick outlet up to Cheney. Taylor read it well.
Phillips keeps it in play. They just send it into space, chewing up time. And finally into touch. Over to Fresno, who trails by just 1. Cheney pushed down from behind.
Time of the essence for the visitors.
Ellis Hayden to the top of the 18. And an offensive handball in the box will bail out the Bold. That one came up and bit Basulovic.
It was a good idea, good ball to the top of the box. Basulovic, obvious there on the replay. I wondered if he was the guy to be able to get Fresno in this one. Can he find the equalizer?
After he found the game winner last weekend.
Game winner, rewarded with the USL Championship Fans Goal of the Week with that stunning strike against T2.
Atuahene, a rare touch since coming off the bench. Business as usual for Phoenix, meanwhile, looking to make it 11 straight.
Be it 6-0 or 1-0, Rising always find a way.
That's a team often putting up 3 goals, 4 goals, obviously 6 last weekend.
Good teams know how to win tight games. They don't always have to be goal fest. But Phoenix is a very good team. They can win those ugly, those knockdown, drag-out matches.
Kleber came off the bench tonight.
It hasn't been a huge factor. Fresno's done a good job of keeping a man on number 9, haven't given him room to operate.
This time the ball goes after the wrist of Lima. Fresno not wasting any time.
Baez trying to gut it out. Working through that cramp. No substitutions for either side. Baez forced to continue.
Daly up ahead to Basulovic. Casillas, his pass interfered with. As he is matched up with, again, a fresh Phillips off the bench tonight. And DeMar gets the better of that exchange.
I think Casillas just ran himself out of room there. Tried to do a bit too much.
Opportunity to continue to chew up real estate, chew up the clock. Atuahene, 1v1. And they had a whistle earlier. Flag was up.
The flag was up. Atuahene knew it. The fans late to see the assistant referee on the far side with the offside.
Fresno just needs to crack that goal line once to level this one. No insurance has come for Austin. But again, that'll help out the Bold cause, chewing up more time after the foul.
And you anticipate at least 4 minutes, maybe 5, tacked on to the end of this match.
Their last loss was, in fact, on the road against one of the sides that has struggled in the West. Not the case here. This is a top 4 clash here in the West. Number 3, Fresno. Number 4, Austin.
You can argue this is the most important match of the season thus far for Austin. They played like it. They know what's at stake, how important not just getting a result, but getting the win and getting the full 3 points are.
Not letting that loss against Phoenix turn into 2 losses. Especially in a crowded pack in the table. Six minutes of stoppage time.
I said it would be at least 4, 6. A lot of that with the injury of Baez. He was down. They tried to work out the cramp.
Full allotment of substitutions for both sides.
Still plenty of time for the visitors. What can Adam Smith's side do?
Ellis Hayden. Can Austin stay organized? Restrepo has been brilliant tonight when called upon. As Fresno has to reset from the back.
Diego Restrepo's played an outstanding game. Austin fans, they've grown accustomed to seeing that. Restrepo making just fabulous saves. Almost the norm for the Bold goalkeeper.
Goal in the 43rd minute for Isaac, holding up at the moment for Austin. And this will buy more time as Diego Restrepo, no doubt, will find the perfect blade of grass to set this ball down upon. Joe Masi with his first start on the year for Austin. Looking to go the full 90.
The young man on loan from FC Dallas has had a nice match. Not the offensive threat that Sion McFarland is, but he's been stout on the back line.
McFarland with a goal in his last outing here at home, and then a tribute to his father. Sion opts to wear McFarland Jr. across his shoulder blades on his kit. Of course, recognizing his dad.
Hey man, I'm so proud of you today.
Kleber able to turn to Tierpak. A sprint to the ball, and it's Cochran with that 6'4" frame. An additional wingspan, able to get to it first.
What a job by C.J. Cochran. Read it perfectly, made the decision, and it has to be a split-second decision. If you're going to come off your line, did so.
Otherwise, Tierpak strolls into the goal with that one.
We've seen great goalkeeping tonight from both of these teams. Cochran and Restrepo both have been outstanding.
Del Campo puts it into the run for Austin. And again, all of a sudden, this clock moving too quickly for Fresno and not fast enough for Austin. Fresno looking for another chance.
Jermaine Taylor, the last man, the captain, there to make the tackle.
Kleber, will he look for the corner or look for insurance? Kleber had drawn the attention of 3 defenders.
He didn't have a lot of options, had Lima to his right, but the 3 defenders making it so he couldn't get the pass to his countrymen.
Well, his teammates too mindful of the counter that bit them so often last week. They stayed back. Phillips to Restrepo. That's 6 minutes of stoppage time, a little less daunting now for the Bold. Fresno trying to correct course. Kurimoto.
It appeared to be a heavy touch. Cheney had lost possession. The tackle came in late, and that may be a break for Fresno as they will have a dangerous free kick coming. This is in a good position. They can certainly put this one on frame. And you see Cheney out, the heavy touch indeed. Sarah Mouton there. Sarah Mouton not quite sure where the foul occurred.
I'll give the credit to Cheney one way or the other.
Cafa, man from Santa Fe, Argentina, set to address it.
Diego Restrepo, no one within 18 yards of the keeper as he barks out his instructions to the men in the teal and black. Greg Dopka putting his Rosetta Stone classes to use. Fresno looking for the equalizer here in stoppage time.
Cafa trying to show some shades of his countryman, Lionel Messi, trying to wrap that one left-footed around the wall and almost put it by Restrepo, but just inches to the left.
As a result, untouched by Diego, simply a goal kick. Once this ball is airborne, they will wait for the final whistle. The 3 points will stay in Texas. 5 straight unbeaten at home for Marcelo Serrano's Bold, and just the 3rd loss all year long for Fresno in this clash of 2 of the top teams in the West in the USL Championship.
And a great match, a fantastic win for Austin, a gutty performance. It was difficult. They were able to find the goal at the end of the first half. They withstood the storm from Fresno in the second and rewarded with the full 3 points at home.
Bold able to bounce back from that loss on the road. Hanging on now to, again, one of the top spots in the West as they continue to pursue in their first ever season in USL Championship, perhaps a home matchup in the first round of the USL playoffs. We've still got some soccer to play before then.
Indeed, but this is a great response after losing last week, their worst loss in franchise history on the road at Phoenix. Exactly what you want to see from a team coming back like this. A tough victory and well earned.
Diego Restrepo with his 7th clean sheet as the keeper tonight. But let's check in with Austin Ivan with our man of the match.
I am with Promise Isaac, the man of the match. He scored the first and only goal of the game with the help from Chris Tierpak. How were you two able to create on that possession?
First of all, I just want to give thanks to God Almighty and to my teammates. You know, if it wasn't them, you know, I don't think it would be possible. You know, this thing is a collective thing. It's not a one-man thing. Altogether, it's a good thing that I scored and we won.
Last week you gave up 6 goals. Tonight you didn't allow a single goal. How were you able to make such a big difference?
Last week was terrible. Terrible. But as long as we are able to keep the winning today, that is very important to us, at least to keep our mind going. Now we are happy, so let's keep going.
And you beat a team in Fresno who's only lost 2 other times this season. How were you able to beat such a good team?
You know, the team is a bunch of talented players. All we just need is just keep training good, keep our heads straight, and the sky is our limit.
Thank you, Promise. Good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Lincoln.
Of course, Promise, former captain of those 08 Olympic Games with the Nigerian side that took silver. He is our man of the match tonight with the game winner. We'll come back to close up this one. 3 points for the Bold as they continue to stay among the top 4 in the West. Diego Restrepo able to live up to his standards, helping ensure that one goal was all Austin was going to need to capture the victory in front of the home fans. You take a look at the final numbers in this one. You'll see the shots on goal for Fresno, and Diego was able to shut each and every one of those down.
He was. He had an absolutely outstanding match. Great saves from Restrepo. Cocker and his counterpart played well, but ultimately that lone goal in the 43rd minute, Promise Isaac, enough to get Austin the victory tonight.
For Fresno fans, I know the Foxes look forward to seeing you back this upcoming weekend as they will host Las Vegas to cheer them on and start a new streak. Meanwhile, for Austin, it doesn't get any easier as they head out west to New Mexico.
They have a difficult match on the horizon, but they can build after a win tonight. Who knows?
So a rematch The home side prevails in each of the 2 meetings between these 2 powerhouses in the West, and that meant tonight here in Austin, it was for the Bold. Promise Isaac from Chris Tierpak, the combination that proves to be the winner, with Diego Restrepo factoring in a few times as well. For Kit McConico, Austin Ivan, I'm Lincoln Rose. The Austin Bold take the 3 points and continue to successfully defend their home turf at Bold Stadium.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.